This video is about what modern nations lost to and as. For example, free speech. Now, the branches of government are criminally foreign influence worse than interstates in a coordinated way, associated with the zoning laws, the pathology, the flow of everything, and then layers of motivations, nature's interests, of styles of liars manifest by nature, all victims, but all victim predators per racketeering method. Forgiveness was because the judicial branch and the executive branch, for example, grouped and individually, they have been using their locations for wire crime methods and for mail crime methods. And that's in conjunction with database racketeering, private inter-ages of each age of campus, inter-natures of campuses, all connected. And then see that now that is also all those interests formally left exploited, each age of fact treatment nature. Now everyone's just looking for them out for their kids through value nature systems ulterior from the one that we need to address, but we can't because again, tied to that forsaken. So for example, with Jim Crow laws, everyone says, oh, forget the past. But then but they have statutes and now in the present reliant on the past. And they have our American history recorded, forced glorified, criminally foreign influence, not by accident, because of the styles of liars needing to pretend they're truth tellers offensively. This is each age and nature of campuses recorded, involved, confessed, and demonstrated. How this is exploited too. See now, former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, Bob Woodruff, CNN, are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with people with racketeering through time, especially if the presidents were looking close, for example, at CCSU, is involved with racketeering leading up to and in the Trade Center attack context. Uses, all victim predators. They're needing to pretend and recorded effectively racketeering method, really sickly, pretending when people talk about reality, things that are true, recorded true always, that we're talking about emotions, passions. In other words, and when we're talking about the other natures of the natures of people, they're pretending we're talking about them with our with passions and emotions that they can't pretend, they can't express that on paper, and they're investing and they're already invested through such way worse because then there are live progressions from that, which is all formal fact cheaping natures and cases already. Racketeering with various natures of courts, all the natures of courts, natures of the same courts involved with the same natures and methods of racketeering, leading up to and in the Trade Center attack context. This is not debatable, but with more Trade Center predicate acts. That's why they can't respond now, because they have judges forging names, switching names. They have the police and the families of the prosecutors and of the state's attorneys associated with those judges, and with New Britain Superior Court, and with Hartford courts, and with Middletown courts. All the courts on and off the state judicial branch offices, a Faenza family, a Fazina family, involved with a whole bunch Eric, a whole bunch of names, people I went to school with, most of the people I don't know at all. And like they had like my neighbors hang around with people in different grades, and like below me and under me, and who came in my grade in fourth grade, involved with new and past police chiefs with that house with racketeering, also with their extended family members further involved with the principal sex offenders campus with this near me. Now, see, what brought this up was untimely death confessions and rape threats. And see, now these are people that also made those threats because they needed to pretend things in the background, passions and emotions, because they have already judges retired and standing involved with racketeering with those persons. Now, WFSB and WTNH and on and off their locations too, they're victims, They're victim predators, also involved with the Weathersfield racketeering with the parks, and with elections locations, on off the town offices, on off fire departments, intercities. And now, so they're also using confessions distinctly and non-distinctly from how the church is, in demonstration of what really modern religions are about, but they're not let free speech in the beginning, the sequence. They're only let anyone talk if they're going to value things out of sequence. In other words, the first part of the Quran, the first part of the Old Testament, were never let scientific treatments of them. We would realize uh, 5 connected semi-natures are self-generating by and as the value of one complete identity of relationship to itself in the range of our positive. Simultaneously, well, that's debatable. See, but they're preventing, they're forcing what's debatable with the sciences recorded with physical delusions, though. So you will see this. This is really not debatable. This is science. And this is about the identity of algebra, the name of Allah. And if you understand the first part of the Quran, we're not supposed to. The Quran doesn't want us all to agree about the name of God. It just wants us to. I mean, about not the name of God, about the name of identity attached to all things at once. There's a big difference there, because G, value G, letter G, is value G too, simultaneously. And it is as letter God. It means it as value God. Now, this is positive or negative as temporary positive. So it's either giving or not. There are proofs that they put the N word with the passions and the racketeering, with the pseudo positive invested in and exploited that way of everyone to roles. Again, so they can perpetually exploit what did that. That's only capable, again, of valuing hurt, each age of fact, cheap nature, informally. Hurt by what forced, formally, self-value, roles, criminally foreign influenced. It's all right, people, in other words, with time, too. And then, like, with treatments of any, like, equality. See, there's a certain, it's all right to be, to know that you have to be able to counter things in life, you need money. But before that, if you have your identity stolen, they're stacking database against you. They investing interbranch family members, intermilitary, needed to pretend they knew you because they walked by you. In other words, they're being coached too, because they invested the sensibilities of everyone. You can't defend that and us at the same time. I just remind. So things that are so simple, like when they're entertaining Jim Crow laws, as anyone expert on it, knowledge, people needing wanting to counter it, but they're countering wrong. And it's and with that, why the reason, not just because they're countering wrong is the problem. They're preventing logic's free speech. Logic has 5 semi-natures. Now here's how it's not debatable. Sequence. The order to the finite. The order to what is active. The order to what is progressive. And the order to our complete identity, which is simultaneously a semi-nature in relationship to why and how we have group values, and then species group. 3 semi-natures connected as semi-nature, distinctly and non-distinctly the same way. And this one identity is also distinctly and non-distinctly semi-nature, those 3 ways, but 2 ways more. And that's in demonstration of how onto and as the value of it, identity of itself and its identity of value progression, how that is inseparable from all things. It is self-generating. This is what generated matter. for science, not just most probably, way more. And in other words, we also have recorded theories as sciences abridged, and then that entertained with the personalities of those people. This is a victim predator method that has people's integrity as an evidence that criminally with sequence racketeering rules. Again, these are 5 sequence natures. These are 5 natures of sequence. So I learned from my father: motion, stability, identity, difference, change. But see, what this is a sequence, the order to the finite, the order to the active, the order to the progressive, and identity's complete nature, a volume. Each individual is a complete nature of volume because the nature of volume self-generating demonstration to us of and as this, as the value of each. That's why anyone, no matter who you are, you need water. The identity of positive is in demonstration to us always. Praise. It's time to understand